Well, hello my dear viewers, welcome to the Brainiac. Learning is fun. In today's video, this is a quite special video. In this video, we're going to talk about the origin of the planetary model and spectrums. And this particular video will be continuing to the next 3 parts or 4. So, for you to understand planetary model and the origin of spectrums, please do not forget to watch the other parts too. So without any further delays, let us go into the video. As you know, before Niels Bohr's planetary model, there were 3 models of atomic structure. That was the golf ball model, which was presented by John Dalton, and it was later rejected, and the plum pudding model by J.J. Thomson came up. And it was also rejected, and then came up the Ernest Rutherford's nuclear model. He suggested that the atoms consist of empty spaces within positive charge and concentrated in the center, and he proved that using the Goldfield experiment. And then finally came the Niels Bohr's planetary model of the atom. And if you consider the other 3 atomic structures, they were based on theories and suggestions. But Niels Bohr's planetary model comes from experimental evidence and explains one electron species. The planetary model of atom. It was the first atomic model which gave the idea of the quantization of energy. So before we go into Niels Bohr's planetary model of an atom, let us go through spectra. So if you consider spectrum, spectrum is a singular word, and vice versa, the plural of a spectrum is spectra. So a spectrum or a spectrum means an array of entities ordered in an accordance with the magnitude of a common physical property. Now consider that that definition. I mentioned that it has an array of entities, and I also mentioned it has an in accordance with the magnitude of a common physical property. Now these 2 set of words are important when we explain a spectrum or a spectra. So an array of entities means something arranged in an order, and a magnitude of a common physical property means, now if you have already arranged a thing in an order, to differentiate them there should be a common physical property. That is the meaning of a spectrum. So let me explain you simply. So if you consider this arrangement, there are 4 men here. The first one is too much fat like a potato, and second one is also fat, but he is little bit thin than the first one. And we have the third guy here, he is a little bit fat like me, and here is the fourth one who is actually thin, and I am going to be him in another few years. So if you consider here, I have arranged these 4 men in an order. So I have got an array of entities here. So if you ask me what is the common physical property which differs in these 4 men, I would say you can pause the video for a moment and think. And if your guesses were correct, the common physical property which differentiates these 4 men is their size. So this is what a spectrum means. A spectrum means an array arranged in a sequential order that vary through a magnitude of a common physical property. If you consider here, this is a spectrum too. Now here there are 4 entities, the thin man to the fat guy. So the magnitude of the common physical property which differs here is their size and weight, anyhow you put it. So this is the simplest explanation for a spectrum. If you consider here, white light is sent through this prism, and you can see as the white light goes into the prism and it gets refracted back as a 7-color spectrum. Notice that in this point the color merges into one another. See, it does not overlap, or it does not have a separation or any dashed lines or empty lines. It just merges into one another. So if a spectrum which merges into one another without any gaps is called a continuous spectrum. So you might wonder, what does it have to do with atoms or Neil Bohr's atomic model? Let's go through that too, but first we have to check out the line spectrum before that. So let us go and check out the line spectrum and then go back to Neil Bohr's atomic model. When you were just a child, your parents would have said you bedtime stories. And how do they start usually a bedtime story? And they would start like this. A long time ago lived so and so, and they were so and so, and a happy ending. So I'm going to explain line spectrum in that form of method. So let us go a long time ago. So just imagine there was a person in chemistry. So this person chemistry took a cluster of atoms. So do not forget, we are going a long time ago, behind time, where science was still in the primitive stage, and also in this period isolating one atom was so difficult, therefore they took a cluster of atoms. So who this person called chemistry. So what did this person, the person chemistry did was, he kept a burning light torch. Now these days we have LED torches, but they used a burning fiber. So the light from the burning material fell on the cluster of atoms. So something else happened after this. So if you ask me, I would say back to you, pause the video for a moment and think. And as usual, if your guesses were correct, when the cluster of atoms were exposed to light, it becomes more and more energized. More and more energized in the sense they become excited atoms. Their energy increases. But do you think that once the electron is excited, it just stays in their normal position? No. After some time, they come again to their ground stage. The normal stage is known as a ground state, and the excited state is known as the excited state. So as you know, light is a form of electromagnetic radiation. So light energy is absorbed by the cluster of atoms, and then it goes to an excited level. An excited level means, now consider this is the nucleus, and you have the energy levels, and you have a electron in the first energy level. So if an first energy level electron gets highly energetic due to the presence of light, it excites to upper energy levels, and it does not stay there. At one point it releases off all the energy and then returns back to its ground state. So since the absorbed energy is a electromagnetic radiation, then the released form of energy is also a electromagnetic radiation. But what if you keep a prism in front of this torch instead of a cluster of atoms? Pause the video and think until I erase this board. So where were we before pausing the video? We had a burning material, and we had a cluster of atoms here. Now before I said, instead of a cluster of atoms, keep a prism and direct light towards it. So what happens is, if you keep a prism in front of a torch or a light passing material, then if the light goes through the prism, it produces a 7-colored line spectrum. But consider you're keeping prism near, now you already remembered me talking about when, now consider this as the cluster of atoms which is in the excited state trying to go back to their ground state. So if you now, when it releases energy, only it can go back to its ground level. So when it's releasing energy, if you keep a prism in front of those energies, then it will produce a different kind of spectrum. When a prism is kept in front of a light emitting material, then it produces a continuous line spectrum. And if prism is kept near an excited cluster of atoms which is trying to go back to its ground state, then it produces a discontinuous spectrum. A discontinuous spectrum means a spectrum in which empty gaps are present. A continuous spectrum means where the color keeps going constantly without any gaps. So that's it for this video. In tomorrow's video, we are going to focus more on the line spectrum, and we are going to also focus on Neebo's planetary model. So simply to say, to be continued. And thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to the Brainiac. And also do not forget to subscribe to our sponsors Health Education. And they are making quite awesome recipes these days. If you want to taste them, you can go view it and then try it at home. And also this video is brought to you by Learning Mindzone. Learning Mindzone provides you an easy array of steps to keep in touch with your first or second mother tongue languages. So until we meet in tomorrow's video, with me Brainiac signing off. Thank you for watching again, and bye.